Hi, Action for Change. Graham speaking. Yeah. Okay, how can I help you?
We were commissioned by the NHS in Hull to provide what's called an alcohol harm reduction service, and the idea of that is to get to people before they develop a serious alcohol dependency issue, and by giving them information and a few techniques to actually moderate and sort out their drinking, help them avoid the journey towards alcohol becoming a major problem in their lives.
Alcohol is a much bigger feature of people's consciousness today than it was 21 years ago. You'll pick up a newspaper most days of the week now and you'll see some story about alcohol problems. It's consistently in the news, which when I came into this business 25 years ago was not the case. Now people are much more aware of the impact alcohol has, not just on their health, but also on criminality.
My title is the Alcohol Offender Manager. Primarily it's dealing with people who come to our attention having committed offences of violence and public order within Hull city centre and whilst in drink. I would be looking at several avenues of how to deal with them, obviously from a prosecution aspect, but also from the aspect of trying to arrange for some alcohol intervention which may address the issues that they have around alcohol, which in turn may be a reason for why they offend on such a regular basis.
Well, I used to take a lot of drugs, and I sort of stopped taking my drugs, and there was a massive gap there because I wasn't allowed to see my kids at the time. Me and my ex had split up, and it was just another thing to, like get rid of all the thinking of the kids and, getting over the drugs. So I just started taking loads of alcohol and just getting absolutely blotted all the time. It just wasn't feeling the same. So then I'd be drinking more and more and more just to get myself into the state I used to be in. And it just spiraled out of control with the more I was drinking to get myself into the state again. So I just didn't think of nothing. The worse I got. If somebody mentioned to me about, what my ex was doing and, my kids was going to see me, I'd flip and I'd end up brain them or starting fights with people for no reason because I was drunk, and it was just the part of the brain that stops you from doing things like that. It just was covered with alcohol, so it wasn't doing it, it wasn't stopping me doing it.
My son just used to get really violent and aggressive. He started off, just sort of on a weekend with his mates drinking, but then he got more dependent and he was needing it every day, and that's all he wanted to do, would just get drunk. We'd only just moved to Hull and he didn't come back, and you're just like, well, is he in police cells or is he in gutter? They were two options because he didn't know anybody in Hull. It was the first time he'd gone out around Hull, but he was in police cells. It's not been easy because he's normally such a really laid-back kid, and he'll talk to anybody, and sort of do anything for anybody. He's really loving, but when he has drink, it's just totally different. It was just constant police phoning me up at middle at night, "Oh, we've got your son." It was causing me depression because you're constantly worrying about him. I'm on my own in a new place. His dad's like, "Oh, I can't deal with him, you deal with him now. I don't know what to do with it," sort of thing. I felt so alone. I'd got him registered at my doctor's because I thought, well, that's my first point of call for some help for him because I just couldn't do it anymore on my own. And Laura, the nurse there, she suggested Action for Change. I mean, it meant I was going to be late for work as usual, but she says, "I've got Paul downstairs, do you want to see him now?" I'm like, yeah. It's worth being late to work for. I needed that help. I really needed it. I was desperate for that help.
It was me doing something stupid and getting put on my probation, and Action for Change stepping in. They didn't say to me, "You've got a problem." They actually showed me that I've got a problem. He treats me like a proper person, do you know what I mean? Rather than a person who's been sent to him by courts. I'm feeling a bit more confident in myself because I'm not drinking as much, because me and my ex are friends now. And because she knows I'm doing so well at trying to sort myself back out, she's letting me see the kids. So it's like I wake up in the morning at 7 o'clock, so I'm filling my life with my kids rather than having a drink.
We just went to the first counselling meeting, and Paul he was brilliant. My son's got his learning difficulties as well, and it's not the easiest. He sort of got down into how my son was feeling, you know, and what was causing him to feel the way he was, and what he could do about it. I came out of that meeting and I can't explain the relief. Just after that one meeting, just knowing I'd got somebody on my side that understood and were there if I needed to talk to him. I'm sleeping okay now, and I'm confident that I can leave him, you know, when he's not going to be rooting through the cupboards for drink or going out and getting drunk. Action for Change, it really has changed mine and my son's life. I honestly don't know what we'd have done without it. It's made my son go from, you know, quite an abusive alcoholic to his old self.
One of the reasons that I think we're so successful is that we recruit people who've got a passion for the job.
We have 65 employees. Every one of them seems to have the same drive to want to make people's lives change. So you're working with colleagues who are really motivated with what they are doing.
They care. You don't see what happens in the back office. You don't see the telephone call to clients saying, can you remember to come to your appointment? How's your day been?
To my mind, they show a lot of commitment and indeed creativity in how they approach problems and how they deal with them.
The biggest thing in terms of alcohol treatment success has got very little to do with training or time or technique. The key thing is the relationship you have with the person you're talking to. Do you feel they can identify with you? Do you feel that they understand your problems and can give you some advice that's relevant to your life?
It's enhancing what we can do, both for the wider public and also the individuals themselves.
When you talk to clients, as I do regularly, what you see is actually the positive impact of what you're doing. So you know, when you get up in the morning, you're turning up, you are helping to change people's lives for the better.